That right there is a silly picture of me holding an Xbox Series X and a needler, firing the needler at the Series X. Maybe it'll help Halo Infinite come faster, but you're about to see me unbox this bad boy. Before you do, I want to let you know that I've got a channel where I'm going to be posting most of my next-gen stuff. It's called XP Force. It's basically the brother or sister channel to Switch Force, which you guys know is my Nintendo channel. XP Force is my next-gen channel, the hub where you're going to find all of the happiness and fun that this week, this month, and beyond will bring. So I encourage you, if you want next-gen coverage, I have coverage for both systems, all the games, all the interesting stuff like which one hits harder when it's dropped on you, and which one is the better launch games, and which one is worth your money. Make sure to go check that out if you're interested. If you've ever loved anything I've done, I appreciate your support. Subscribe, link in the description down below. You can check the video out here. I want to make sure you GhostRobo guys and girls get to see this as well. It's a big moment. We've covered so much on this channel, including the Xbox One launch, which was one of my favorite moments in the history of the channel. And it's fitting that Demon's Souls is going to be on PlayStation because you guys know how much Dark Souls means to me and this space. So let's get on with it. I'm so pumped. I hope to see you guys over on the new channel. I'll still do like some walkthrough-ish stuff on this channel, but the big videos, and I think the more next gen, like I said, like that, like the comparative stuff and the lists and the whys and the whats, that'll be on XP Force. So I hope to see you there. If you didn't know I had Switch Force, you can check that out as well. But this is about next gen. So enjoy, and on with the unboxing. And I also want to compare it to some other important things, like an NFL helmet. It's not as tall as my Yeezy. So we're not talking full-on fridge, but it's definitely bigger than something you'd boil. 7 long years ago, which feels like an eternity at this point, I walked home with this box, the Xbox One box, a system with a unique vision, one powered heavily by Kinect. That vision went completely awry, but it was unique, and I feel like today, as we stand here, my friends, with another new box, a heavier box, a roughly same size box, it's time for another unique Microsoft vision. And the Xbox Series X is their next-gen console to power us forward with amazing power, with amazing accessibility, and hopefully the promise of amazing games boosted by that big Bethesda acquisition. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from XP Force. Smash that like button because next gen is here. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to take you on an epic adventure through all things next gen. I love these moments. I love stuff like this because this is what you always remember, at least for me. It's the big games that define you. It's the first time you played BioShock, the first time you played Mario 64. And then it's these moments where you get a brand new console and you're not sure what it's going to be like. You're not sure how it's going to change gaming. You're not sure if it's the right move. You're not sure if it's worth your money. $500 went into this Xbox Series X, and right now, they don't have many exclusive games. In fact, they have 0. But eventually, they will. Halo Infinite, Fable 4, and whatever else they decide to bring into this beautiful box. It says, power your dreams, and that is what we will do. Now, I've got some interesting comparisons here. Obviously, we got to take a look at the box first and foremost, but then I want to roll you guys through some unique comparisons of sizing. We may have to take something out of Master Chief's playbook and see what a needler looks like in terms of firing against an Xbox Series X. Pretty substantial gun. John's got some big hands. Me, on the other hand, I've got small hands. But I do have a nicely sized Xbox Series X that is wrapped like it's a gift. And I hope this system ends up being a gift, not just for me, but for all of you. If any of you have pre-ordered, this is going to be a massive moment. Did you drop $500 on the right one? Now, I would say based on early reviews, they're both very strong systems with kind of shaky games lineups. Although Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, Sackboy, and Godfall seems a bit stronger right now. But I'm so pumped by this because it's something brand new. I've never seen one of these in person. I've never touched one. I've never tasted one. I've never smelled one. It smells so nice. I'm the weirdo who loves new shoe smell, who loves that plasticky goodness straight out of the factory. Not if it's gross and too aromatic, but if it has just a little bit of new bliss, I like it. And this is what I'm gonna be playing Xbox on for the next 4 to 7 years. There'll probably be an iteration in between. The way that the green moves off of the plastic on the top is my favorite part immediately, and it's smaller than I expected. It's smaller than I expected. You can see we've got some consoles from yesteryear, the big original Xbox One. We've got the Xbox 360, the Xbox One X. Of course, I could not do the video without my boy Connect. I remember working at Best Buy and having to sell this thing to people who first walked into the store, and I was like, it's so cool. Go buy a different system. This is like, it's a little tower. It's a little monolith, and hopefully it's a monolith to mega power. I think it is going to fingerprint very easily, but it's got this nice base to let you know it's ready to stand. And based on what I've seen and heard about the PlayStation 5, which of course we'll be covering soon, this guy is a nice size. It's not gigantic, it's not tiny, and it feels like it's a good weight. Like, you can get some workout on, you know, some quarantine bicep building going on here, which feels pretty great. You got the disk drive, of course, you got the USB port, you got the sync button, and you got the Xbox button. Now I want to plug it in to hear the sound, because it's these little things that matter to me. But I also want to compare it to some other important things, you know, like an NFL helmet. How are we feeling about that? I mean, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, definitely less wide. You could wear the NFL helmet. That might feel nice for the Series X. It honestly can wear it. I think it's not going to have full concussion protection, but it seems pretty good. You know, something else I wanted to compare this to is a Neon Glow Yeezy. Okay, I'm an 11.5. I feel like that's a decently average size. It's not as tall as my Yeezy. It's a little bit wider, but not as tall. My foot is taller than the Xbox Series X. You heard it here first. Something else important, you know, a tea kettle. How does it compare to a tea kettle? And it's definitely bigger than a tea kettle. So we're not talking full-on fridge, but it's definitely bigger than something you'd boil your hot water in. Now, looking at the other systems, you can kind of tell. I don't need to compare them directly. We've seen these photos many, many times. It is bigger in certain ways. It is like I said, a monolith. It's a little obelisk to Xbox's awesomeness, powered by Game Pass, and hopefully powered by great games on that Game Pass. Now, if we want to look at the rear of the system here, the booty, if you will, we got a lot of ports and a lot of ventilation. You got your storage expansion, your HDMI out, you got your USB ports, your Ethernet port, your power port, and your HDMI out port. This system feels very dense. It also feels very, very clean. I will say this is one of the cleanest systems, and it borrows directly from the Xbox One X design of basically just being a black box with ventilation, with the Xbox insignia, and not much else. But I will say that as you move it, you can't see it straight on because it's only on the interior side of the plastic. That green, that Xbox green, is pretty darn nifty. Now the button is a clicky button, which feels good. So let's plug this bad boy in. Now they give us this little door tag. You want to say, hey mom, I'm busy playing Xbox. Or it also just tells you how to get things going. Quick start, there is a little QR code. You can set up your app, which is the way to go. I've heard if you set up the PlayStation app, the Xbox app, it's gonna really make these guys move quickly. Now there is another little box inside of the box, and this is gonna have all of our cords. It's gonna have our HDMI cord in typical Xbox fashion. I really like the Xbox HDMIs. My favorite HDMIs are the Switch HDMIs because they're a little bit shorter on sort of the connector, which I really appreciate. And then we get the power cord, which this is important to me. How long is this guy? Is it long? Is it short? Is it tall? Is it fun? Does it give you enough room to get the job done? And we'll drop off those little wrappers and see it's a pretty short cord. I mean, it's decently long, but I always think they should include longer cords. It's fine. Do you guys like these connectors? I feel like these ones yank out really easy. Just these little, like, I don't even know what they're technically called, but the little two-prong connectors. I prefer the bigger, chunkier, like computer desktop tower plugs, but this will do. It's nice that it's so small. Of course, AC adapter, be gone. Power brick, be gone. We're not in that era anymore, which is nice. Now, what's interesting here is that you are going to get a new controller. Now, the Series X controller is nowhere near as new as the PlayStation 5 DualSense, but it does promise a bit of difference. And so I want to take a peek with you because this is the good stuff. This is the moment of like, you're gonna unbox this on Tuesday and see what you got going on. It's the same exact controller. Oh wait, there's one new button. They got this center button, which I believe is a dedicated share button right here in the center. But otherwise the controller is basically the same. You will notice that the D-pad, if you can see up close here, the D-pad is borrowed from the Elite controller, more in that style. It is not the same D-pad as, say, like here, I'll grab my Cyberpunk controller and knock over my little figure. This is just a normal 4-directional D-pad, typical D-pad that the Xbox controller has. And on the Series X controller, we have the more omnidirectional, flat, roll your finger like you're putting a cookie in powdered sugar. You know, you roll the cookie or roll the dough and you want to get it nice and round. I feel like I'm rounding my thumb. No calluses, just bumps. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. The triggers have some nice grip on them, which I think is a smart addition. The bumpers are basically the same. The Cyberpunk controller is very shiny. I really like it a lot. No shine on this, so it's going to be completely matte, and it feels good. It's an Xbox controller. The deal with Xbox Series X is they really wanted to make sure that continuity is king, or queen. And they decided that they would have a speedier UI, a refined controller, the same games, and go for power. And hope that power propels you forward. And hope that power pushes the dollars out of your wallet. If you want something totally different, the PlayStation 5 promises a much more next-gen experience by diversifying, delivering a new controller, a new UI, and trying, I think, to emphasize exclusive blockbuster titles, at least earlier than Xbox. But controller-wise, if you like this one, it's still classic, it's still cool, it still feels great in the hands, and now we get to power this on. Now, before we hit go, one thing that is a bit surprising to me, and I expected it, but I thought maybe there was a slight chance that they would include a Game Pass trial or subscription in the box. But I think at the end of the day, Microsoft knows that they need you to subscribe and buy Game Pass in order to buoy their profits. That is what this box is based around. Game Pass, subscription, making sure your ecosystem of titles works across everything you've got. And they're gonna force developers to make that happen. Even with a game like Halo Infinite, that seems to be struggling mightily because it needs to reach Xbox One from 2013, Xbox One X from a few years back, and Xbox Series X from 2020, and when the game releases 2021. The tall order and a tough task. I thought maybe they'd include a Game Pass subscription so you could get Gears Tactics, so you could download some of the titles from the past months, but that's not the case. Let's power this on and see what the sound will be like for the next several years. Quick button press, same effect, and it is a very quiet system. Now, obviously, it is a speedy system with multiple quick resume slots and the ability to push your titles to a much better performance level. Plus, in theory, deliver amazing next-gen games when they arrive. We'll be checking out a whole bunch of them on the channel, so make sure to stay put. We'll be looking at games from yesteryear, games from tomorrow, and seeing how they compare, diving into things like Assassin's Creed 1 versus Assassin's Creed Valhalla. How far has that franchise come on a Series X, and what do the games look like? Plus, of course, it's Cyberpunk 2077 as soon as December rolls around. Halo, we're going to be checking out once that gets added to the arsenal. And this is a quiet box. I'm talking loud, but I can whisper. And this guy ain't making a purr. It's like a kitty cat without much comfort because it is darn quiet, and I appreciate that. I've heard that the PS5 is also quiet, and we'll have to see how hot these guys get. You can feel the nice air. It's a good chance to, catch a breath, catch a breeze. The air smells like plastic and metal, working for the first time. And some part of me really likes that. I want to see if this system is for me. And so I'll be putting it through the paces, and we'll give you a lot more. But I wanted to get it in a box, give you some comparisons, see what you think. Let me know in the comments down below, my friends. And make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart out there. I love you guys a lot. The controller, it's basically the same. I like the D-pad. I think, like I said, it feels good, so I give that a little thumbs up. I think the box, just like as a box, is very nice, but it is plain Jane. I love my custom consoles. I love my limited editions. I'd love to see Microsoft iterate and deliver a sexy Halo, Cyberpunk, Gears, something. Sea of Thieves, I don't care. Fable, Everwild, throw it at me. Hellblade, Starfield, and give us something good. I've seen mock-ups where they make this thing look really snazzy, and it's sleek, but I'm not a simple person. So while this will look good in 95% of your entertainment centers, I want a little more pizzazz because I like this kind of fun stuff. We'll have to see how it compares to the PS5. We'll deliver those two together soon. Until that time, everybody, thanks again for watching. Next gen is here. I love you a lot. XP Force out.